Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young. Hampton Roads has a
Good Saturday morning to all out there. It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Glad you are tuned in with the coach Ed Young. I am Matt Hatfield. Good morning, Edward. How are you today?
Feel fine. It's great. We're back in studio. So those people that have been watching us, you don't see him when he broke into the house and he had the piano and took a dip in the pool. You don't see that. You don't see.
Might see it later though.
You don't see my terrestrial living room. And you don't see Vinny. Vinny is on assignment today. Vinny is getting us some new NIL deals based on the new ruling by the Tennessee and Virginia courts on NIL deals. And my agent is out there trying to get us some money because Hatfield is too cheap to give me what he owes me.
Well, listen, we do have something though for you. Look at this. Nancy Lieberman, Lady Magic. I have the Nancy Lieberman statue right here.
Where did you steal that?
I didn't steal it. It was given to me. So you don't have Vinny, but I've got Nancy. I got Lady Magic. Lady Magic is on my side.
I still say she's, in my eyes, maybe the best overall complete player in the history of women's.
Wow. You want to put that up there for the audience today? Who's the greatest women's player of all time?
Well,
although the current year will give you Caitlin Clark.
Now, Caitlin Clark is a tremendous player.
Don't
She's
knock
a great
her. Please
shooter.
don't be Cheryl Swoops today. Don't be the one that's hating.
Hey, Cheryl Swoops.
Drinking haterade.
Cheryl Swoops.
Not Gatorade, which you'll hear from later on in the show, one of our sponsors, by the way.
Caitlin Clark is a tremendous. Somebody said the other day, and this is where people get a little crazy when they drink.
What's that?
She has transcended, the word I think they use, the women's game.
Uh-huh.
No, it isn't. Yeah, Jack, it's a new studio. They are allowing us in here until this dude messes it up.
We got look at that thumbs up over your head. Yeah. Most of the time we have thumbs down when you say things instead of supposed to thumbs up. We'll work on that.
But they said she has transcended the women's game where now everybody tunes into women's basketball more so than men's. She's the most known college basketball player this year, which I may not disagree with, men or women. But she is not the all-time greatest women's player in the history.
So who do you think it is?
Put Nancy Lieberman in there.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
What about Cheryl Miller?
Cheryl Miller's in there.
Okay.
There's so many of them.
Go through Diana Taurasi's, Rebecca
Lowe, Susan Burke. Come on now.
Darius Boston was good a couple years ago. There's just a litany of players.
Come on. Caitlin Clark is tremendous. See, the problem with today's fans and people, your yesterday is what you had for lunch yesterday. That's it. You can't go back in the history of anything else. If you're going to be a true sports fan, read the history of the sport you want to talk about or keep your mouth shut because you don't know what you're talking about. And you look, the foolishness comes out of you. But I'm okay. I'm not on a rant today. I feel good.
The comments expressed by one coach, Ed Young, are not necessarily those reflected by the folks at Cova Sports TV and Hometown Sports Productions. Anyhow, we will move forward. We have some basketball to go over with you. We have
some great hoop.
We have an interview with Andrew Griffiths, the head field hockey coach of Old Dominion University. So for you Monarchs fans out there, you'll hear what he has to say about the Monarchs, but also Total Field Hockey Academy coming up next week, as well as in the weeks and months to follow at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach by the PLEX. And we might even throw in, if time allows, an episode, or I should say a segment of Fact or Fiction. We could save it for later. We could do a buy or sell. We haven't done those in a while, and get Ed's take on a lot of things happening around the world of sports. But as always, you can like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors' friends, and your friends' neighbors, and all that. We will put you on the screen. You can join the show anytime. And Coach bringing today, Bob Lanham out there watching. We thank Bob for tuning in.
Look at Bob with his shirt. Bob, that's not you.
Shirt and tie.
That's not, it looks like you're going to
He doesn't have a brown sweatshirt on.
Yeah, I mean, his hair's not all down.
And he's still mad at you, as he should be, because ever since you knocked the Browns kind of did a little bit of a nosedive in playoff time.
Can't be too mad. I mean, I'm a Raider fan. Look at me.
Well, that's true.
Bob, you got to get yourself messed up.
Before we get to the basketball, how about Antonio Pierce's comments this week? Did you see that? He said they're going to have Mahomes rules like they did with the Pistons with Jordan rules.
They're just trying to bring back the old Raider mystique of their defenses.
It's interesting to me.
Back in Ben Davidson days, Lester Hayes, Jack Tatum, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So now they're going to take. It's going to take more than that to knock down Kansas City. The Raiders next year will be a 500 team. And they won't.
You really believe that?
They won't make
500 team.
It'll be 500. Well, it can't be because 17 games. They might win 9.
You're not real confident about your guys these days.
We got to do a little bit more adding.
We got to get a little more positivity out of you.
We got to add a little bit more.
Positivity. That's the way to go with things. But as you see some of the scores scrolling across the screen at Ticker. Now, you were at Norfolk State this week. Did you make first team all hospitality?
No. In fact, the only time I was in there when you and I went in there and got the last remains of some extremely cold pizza.
We can't say which pizza it is because they don't sponsor the
it. So if you don't sponsor us, we're not going to submit your name. But speaking of that, people, we need more sponsors. Get them in here. We got some great deals for you, and we will mention your name then, and we'll even go to your establishment if you put some ads in here so we can see who we got out there.
But I bring that up to you because we are concluding the regional playoffs. You'll see our brackets here momentarily with the playoffs. But I am curious to get your take on what you have seen thus far and big picture. And I'm going to put this out there to the audience. It'll be maybe our question of the day. What district is the best district in the area for basketball? We ask this a lot of times for football, various sports. And there's 5 districts in Tidewater. There's more than that across the entire state, but you have the Beach District, which is all your Virginia Beach schools, the Eastern District, which is your Norfolk and Portsmouth schools. If you're just new to the area or just joining us for the first time and you're unaware of who's in what district. Southeastern is Chesapeake, and then the 3 Suffolk schools like Ed Young's, Nansemond River, along with Lakeland and Kings Fork. Peninsula's all your Hampton and Newport News schools. And the Bay Rivers District consists of your schools out there in Yorktown and Williamsburg, your Graftons, your Yorks, your Brutons, your Lafayettes, the New Kents, and so on and so forth. Right now, where would you give the best grade to as far as what district? And I know you're biased. I would tell you, as usually I have picked the Southeastern in the past. It is not the answer this year, I would tell you that, because you don't have but one team remaining on the boys' side with Oscar Smith, and I believe just one team on the girls' side in Deep Creek. And again, we'll flash up some brackets for you momentarily. But I'm curious, where would you give the nod to, the edge to it? I'm curious out there for any listeners and viewers, if you want to chime in with your comments on what district gets your vote. I have a vote, but I want to get Ed Young, since he is the coach, and we let our elders go first.
Well,
your perspective.
I'm too biased because
well, why do you have to include the bad schools?
And I said that the wrong way. You got to take care of the teams that are in the conference or the district, as they call them, from top to bottom. You can't just go by your top 2 or 3 teams. So to me, it's like you're looking at 2 different things. Overall, I just do not want to not say that SCD because we're in it and it's
There's
a battle.
That legendary soundbite. The oh boy, he always says, oh boy, that's a tough one. Oh boy.
I might side. I'm going between Peninsula because of the Hampton schools. Both boys and girls are still playing.
Right.
Woodside boys obviously in there on a trek for trying to win another back-to-back state title. Menchville girls are in there. They're very good, even though they lost to Jonathan Wilson's Norview Lady Pilots. I'm looking at PED. I'm looking at lost last night to Woodside. So really, I'm going to have to say it's a pinch between those 2. And if I got to pick one, you can't waver, as you say, or sit on the top of the fence because it hurts.
Sure.
Give me Peninsula District.
Peninsula District. That's where I'm going. All right. That's your vote. By the way, our man from VirginiaPreps.com, one of our gurus,
Will
the venerable Will Garlick, is going Eastern District. I don't disagree with you, Will. I think you're going Peninsula versus Eastern here on this, is what you're thinking?
I would say in those 2 right now, neck and neck.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right. Look, it's a tough call any way you slice this. I'm going to probably go right now with the Eastern District because, and Derek Fulgham also chiming in, you've got Maury, Norview, and Lake Taylor boys. You've got Lake Taylor girls along with Norview as well. I feel like with that district having 8 schools, the PD has 10, the Southeastern has 10, and the Beach has 11, that when you combine the mixture of boys and girls, and then the fact with the Eastern, you actually have, and Derek left one out here, Booker T. Washington, by the way, who plays today at Norfolk State, against Lake Taylor in the region championship. I think that gives them the nod with the teams. And I think over the years, those will be the two you'd lean with. There have been some ebbs and flows where the Beach might pop up or the Southeastern would pop up as the favorite. And I think there's been a couple times recently where I'd give the nod to the Southeastern. But right now, I think the Eastern might be my choice. Although I think in the state tournament, we probably have more championship level teams out of the peninsula when you look at Woodside boys who won it and can go back to back, Hampton girls who won it last year and could possibly go back to back, and Hampton boys who are probably viewed as the next best after reigning two-time state champ for Ryan.
See, again, if we go in depth in this, if you separate boys and girls, I think Peninsula District, and I'm going top to bottom, I think Peninsula District take that back. Beach District for girls basketball, slight. Probably over. And
I tell you what, the youth in the Beach, which we'll get to in the show, is really good right now because the Spain sisters at Kellum, you have Green Run's been improved. Obviously, Princess Anne's a dynasty, just won their 20th regional title last night. And then you throw up there some other teams that have been in the States recently, like Kempsville Salem. I think there's some quality there that's a little bit underrated.
Yeah. I think like when you start separating a little bit, because again, we get enamored with playoffs right now. Everybody's on a high with teams, going.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Playoffs.
You got to do that, but you got to be more. You got to take all that emotion out of it and again, I think you really have to put top to bottom who's the best district each year, and then you have to separate boys, girls. Because if we say Peninsula District's best, do we mean they're best period with both, or is it just one of them? Boys is the best, and maybe the girls the second best. I think that's kind of how you have to really look at it. But again, everybody has their opinion. Obviously, if you got a kid that's going to that school, or you play there, or you're coaching that, you're going to talk a lot about your region. And we're not even mentioning Bay Rivers District at all, because sometimes the bias is, well, those are smaller schools, and for some reason in our head, we think smaller schools are not good enough to play with the bigger schools. I don't know why we look at that. And of course, that big argument is coming up again. I heard it just at SNU, the John Marshall
SNU
situation. And at SNU.
NSU. Okay, yeah. Is it SNU?
No, I'm not.
If you said SNU, it would be Sun. You just did SNU, right?
But I got into discussions about why is John Marshall in Division II? People, they're in Region 2 because of population. And would you say they won their playoff games by so far?
I think I tweeted out last night what the amount was. I want to make sure I get it exactly right. I don't want to get it incorrect here for you. They've won their postseason games by an average in the regionals for 2A now of, as I pull it up here, 61.3 points per game.
And that will come down a little bit when they go in the state tournament, so they'll probably end up only winning by an average of 58 points a game.
And I haven't gotten word if that's been a running clock or not a running clock. So
they have a running clock with 6 minutes into the first quarter most of their games.
I mean, it feels that way pretty much. So would you like to see some scores and hear some jazzy music in the background as we talk to you?
Who's picking the music? Because if you're picking the music, here we go.
I mean,
Burt Backrack in the background. Here we go.
Burt, you got to get license permission to play his stuff, so we can't do that. So you won't get Burt Backrack. You'll get something else instead, though. Maybe you'll get some lemonade or something. How about that? You do have water over there. Let's talk about what we've got here for the playoffs in Region 6A. You saw Oscar Smith fell to Lansdowne 53-37. Didn't you give Oscar Smith the edge, and I give Lansdowne the edge last week, or am I mistaken in that assessment?
I said Smith in a close one, I think.
That's what you said? No, you were wrong. Which is nothing new.
It doesn't matter whether I'm right or wrong, because you're always going to make it wrong. You cheat your butt off.
I don't cheat.
Win if you must.
You're the one that's lie if you can, steal if you must, but always cheat. That's your philosophy in life.
You can't be a teacher and a coach and have that philosophy.
That's debatable.
Well, cheaters, there's some coaches that I can name, but let's
look at 6B, Potomac Patriots tonight. Who you liking that?
I think I've been on Potomac's bandwagon all year.
Potomac?
Yeah.
I'm going Patriot.
Okay, let's do that.
Dwight Vick sometimes watches the show. His son Isaiah plays for Patriot. We got to call it state championship last year, and I think they're going to go back this year and have a great opportunity to win it after losing to Hatfield last year. And speaking of Hatfield, who's won back-to-back and a belly-to-belly, they're playing in the Occoquan Region 6C final against West Potomac. Did you see the West Potomac finish, by the way? They had a buzzer beater. There was 3 buzzer beaters on Thursday, and they had one of them on a putback against Fairfax, who they lost to in the district tournament the week before. And here's another Ed Young rant that I'm going to channel here. Do you want to bring district tournaments back in Tidewater? As we see Raymond Weaver chiming in, longtime run statistician, who, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. I think he missed last night's game because I think he had a trip to the Bahamas. How about that? I'm jealous of him. He got to go to the Bahamas, and we didn't. And unbelievable.
Ray's
he and his mom, Caroline, didn't bring us. What's up with that? We got left behind. We got the shaft.
There wasn't room. They might have some
other people. They sent us to the Bahamas. It could be bad. It could be very bad.
We'll be at war to Bahamas.
Anyhow, back to what we were talking about, though. Would you like to have district tournaments back in the Hampton Roads area? They have them in the Northern Virginia part of the state. They have them in Southwest Virginia. Would you like to see district tournaments come back? Now, the Eastern has it for boys and girls in its preseason. By the way, those that do records, and you'll see it coming up with the Norfolk and Portsmouth schools, they say those games don't count. Let me fill you on something that I got from Tom Dolan from the Virginia High School. For those that keep records, they don't count. If it didn't count, then they wouldn't report the scores, number one. And number two, if it didn't count, it'd be a part of their exhibition or scrimmage tally. So if it counts, reports to say it does count. And secondly, it does because the games go on the records. It doesn't go on the coaches' overall records. It doesn't go on the team for the power ratings for their postseason situation. But they do count. And I think they need to change the timing of those district tournaments. I've been long saying that, put it around Christmas time or start of January and have it have some type of factoring into your postseason equation. Otherwise, the games are irrelevant and you'll have coaches not throw to games, but basically treat them like exhibitions and scrimmages.
My opinion is, if it doesn't count, we don't do it. If it's part of the scrimmage, then that's great because you've upped the scrimmage because you're only allowed 2. And in the tournaments, you're playing at least 3. Maybe sometimes the championship teams are playing 4. If it's not conducive for the regular season, what are we doing it for? Back then, it was for tournament seeding, whatever. That's when a district tournament meant going into the regional tournament.
Right.
So, no, I'm not going to play a bunch of extra games that, number one, you're going to tell me they don't count. They really don't have a meaning for it. Now, if you're upping the game limits, because traditionally it's been 22, unless you're in a 3-game tournament, in-season tournament, you can play 23. And if they say, well, you know what, you can play a district tournament and it counts. I don't care if it's beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year, and it counts, and you can play more games, then I would be for it. If it means nothing, I'm not wasting my time with it.
Okay. So there you have it. As we move back to the district, or I should say the regional playoff brackets for Class 6, and then we'll take a break. We'll hear some sound. We'll get some highlights that our man Jack Lowe from Cova Sports TV provided us as well. You got West Potomac Hatfield real quickly. Who's your pick on that game? I've been I almost said betting. I don't bet. Trust me. I don't want to say that wrong. I've been picking on our predictions on.
You're
VIP.
allowed to bet, but not on.
No, not high school. I've been picking on our VIP board, which people can check out on VirginiaPreps.com. And by the way, I love when they say we don't read your picks, and then 5 minutes after you put it up, someone texts you, "You picked us to lose." Like, wait a second, you don't pay attention to why you texted me. You picked us to lose.
I've heard that a little bit too.
My picks have been a little up and down. I think I'm at 82% right now. Anyhow. I've been picking against Hatfield because they got a brand new starting 5. I think Carlos Poindexter is doing a wonderful job. I'm amazed they've gotten this far. I'm going to give the slight nod to West Potomac. Despite the youth, would not be surprised if Hatfield got it. I got the feeling you're going with Hatfield.
Only because you're taking West Potomac, I'll go Hatfield.
Yeah. South Lake's all over Madison, 64-26. They beat them last year in a region final. They do it again. They win every game in their regional playoff bracket by at least 20 points. Are they, sir? Put your feet to the fire. Got coals underneath there under your desk.
That's Lansdowne's opponent.
Well, it can't be.
Oh, they're going to meet in the semi.
You'll get to that in a minute. But right now, feet to the fire, is South Lakes the team to beat, or would you go with B, Lansdowne, C, Patriot, or D, Other? Other gives you a little bit of a quantity of options. But right now, feet to the fire, Ed Young, maybe to your audience out there, who is the favorite in Class 6 boys? You going A, South Lakes, B, Lansdowne, C, Patriot, or D, Other? And by the way, Other, Hayfield said, hold on, what about us? We went back-to-back.
That's true.
Who's your favorite going in?
Because they're playing so well now, and I'm biased, but I'm gonna go Lansdowne.
You're always biased.
I'm gonna go Lansdowne.
Look how you flip-flop more than a flapjack on the stove, on the griddle. You was on Oscar Smith's the favorite. Now you're on Lansdowne.
Well, Oscar Smith.
So Dwight Robinson and LeVar Griffiths are saying this guy needs to just zip it.
Oscar Smith got smacked by Lansdowne.
They did.
Okay.
They can't respond from that?
Yeah, they can,
okay.
But that's going to be tougher because they've been beating people really well. I don't know how they're going to respond to it. These other schools we're talking about, South Lakes, Lansdowne, Hayfield, they're all on a roll.
Yeah, don't forget about that.
Okay, they're moving. They're moving forward. They're not having to regroup.
By the way, Patriots got Tay Barber, who is committed to Harvard. So he can only play basketball, but he's got to be a smart cookie if he's going to Harvard.
Smart cookie to go if you're going to
That's
Harvard,
right, yeah.
Sure. But yeah, I would say I mean, the field, they're all, like when you say other, that is a strong pick because any of the others can do it. But again, you're telling me with the famous feet to the fire, and I don't know what the heck that means because why would I put my feet in fire? Is that some kind of an Indian walk or something they always did?
No, we put your feet to the fire to make you have to, stop, waffling and stop, pick a side is what it is.
Okay, we're going to have
fire or no fire.
We're going to have a show one of these days on all these crazy sayings. What do they mean? Where they come from? The one that gets me the craziest, I don't know how we get on this tangent. Somebody, and I think it was you, said, gun to the head. Who's putting a gun to their head on any question? I don't know where these sayings came from, but they got to stop. It's just very simply say, who do you like as a potential winner? Whether I'm pushed to make the pick or not, I'm going Lansdowne. Right. So there, put your gun in the fire now.
All right. Well, we have a question of the day. Should we put Ed Young's feet to the fire or a water pistol to his head? Let us know on 757.
Some people now, they're going to put on there, they're going to cross out water pistol. They're going to cross off water. That's what they're going to end up doing. I'm going to have to get out of here. I'm going to have to be under heavy guard. We are going to take a timeout. You're going to see some highlights coming up from the Region 6A final with Lansdowne and Oscar Smith that our man Jack Lowe was at. Also, you'll hear from Coach Dwight Robinson, his comments after that. We'll also go through what happened in Class 5 Region A on Friday night at Ocean Lakes High School. Oh, it was a great one between the Princess Santa Lady Cavaliers under the legendary Darnell Dozier, who's won so many games. He's run out of fingers and toes for rings. They outlasted Deep Creek, the Green Run Boys, who beat Kempsville. All four moving on still to the state playoffs. Class 4, Class 3. Get your take on that. Andrew Griffiths around the corner as well, the field hockey coach at Old Dominion. It is all on here with us at Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter or X at 757 Sports Talk and VirginiaPreps.com. But you're going to see as we go to break some highlights of that Lansdowne Oscar Smith game and then hear from some of our sponsors that make it possible for us every Saturday, every week from the PLEX. Stay tuned.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. You need John Maynard. PFP, LUTCF, EA, all those initials behind his name mean he's qualified to work on your taxes. He's an ATA, accredited tax advisor. He's an ATP, accredited tax preparer. He's a fellow at NTPI, the National Tax Practice Institute. And if all that weren't enough, he's also been voted the best of Norfolk and the best of Virginia Beach Awards. John Maynard has been professionally trained in tax preparation and representation. He brings to the table over 30 years' experience in federal and state returns. He delivers personalized, one-on-one service, and he's a certified electronic filer. The IRS likes electronic filers. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service, 455-6763.
Treat yourself to a visit to the Drip Bar, IV hydration and vitamin therapy in Virginia Beach. boost your immunity, increase your energy, and promote anti-aging with our personalized treatments designed to ensure efficient nutrition absorption to rejuvenate your mind and body. Come see our chic and relaxing day spa for yourself today. We welcome walk-ins and appointments. Our medical professionals will help you achieve your best health and answer all your questions. The Drip Bar at Lansdowne Commons in Virginia Beach.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
We are back on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to our show and everything we do with Cova Sports TV. We've got for you live football, field hockey, soccer, so many events here at the PLEX. And you'll get notifications as we go live, including on 757 Saturday Sports Talk, along with our Field Hockey with Hatfield podcast, on the Hash with Hatfield podcast, and other things that are in the works, including we might even have a podcast where we follow Ed Young around and see if we can make him scream and react and go crazy. Speaking of Ed Young, he's back with us now, and we have an interview from Thursday night's basketball action, do we not?
Yeah, we have Lansdowne knocked off Oscar Smith Thursday night, 53-37, in the Region 6 championship game over there at Oscar Smith. And our colleague Jack Lowe had to get a chance to sit down and talk with Lansdowne head coach Dwight Robinson about how that victory came apart. Let's go ahead and see that here on Cova Sports TV.
All right, I'm here with head basketball coach Dwight Robinson once again after their victory over Oscar Smith. Coach, you guys are Region 6A champions. Just your initial thoughts. I mean, this is a very tough region. You got, obviously, Oscar Smith, you all displayed. You all had to overcome Manchester, not to mention on the other side, Highland Springs. It's a very tough region. You all are champs of it. What's the first initial thoughts?
We're just glad to get through it, and be moving on to state. I'm excited for my team. They worked so hard all year. Actually, they've been working hard for the last few years. A lot of underrated guys on the team, but we play as a team. And I told the guys today, defense travels.
And so you guys seem to excel in the paint with Demir and Deshaun there, especially in the first half there. Just seem to be dominating big boy basketball. Was that part of the offensive game plan coming into tonight?
For sure. Tonight, we didn't want to settle for jump shots. I don't think we took a whole lot of them, but we didn't want to settle tonight. We wanted to get in the paint. We wanted to play playoff basketball. We wanted to dominate the glass. I think Deshaun had like 18 boards tonight, and he dominated the paint. So did Demir. Demir played off two tonight and went through people. They like to try to block shots, but those two played a great game. But so did Darrell Stevens. He was awesome in the first half. He kind of put us on his back for a little while there.
And final question. It's a fantastic win tonight. You get to celebrate tonight, but you still have some more basketball to play. Just how do you finish the story?
Well, first we wait to see who's going to be coming down to 7x7. But we'll start preparing tomorrow for either team that's going to be in that championship up there. And then, that's what we'll do. We'll just start preparing and, get ready to go on Tuesday. That's the best thing that we can do. Hopefully we'll get Xavion back for Tuesday and be ready to rock and roll.
So that was Dwight Robinson of the Lansdowne Eagles, a winner over Oscar Smith 53-37. Back here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as we flash back up for you. Not just that, the brackets, but also some scores for you across the state and high school basketball last night. Ed, you see the bracket there for Class 6. The tournament will go to Class 5 here in a moment. It's set. Lansdowne's going to play either Alexandria City or Hatfield, which square off tonight. I believe that's at Robinson Secondary up in Northern Virginia. South Lakes is going to take on Patriot Potomac, the runner-up there. Oscar Smith will take on whoever wins that Alexandria City Hayfield game, and then Patriot or Potomac will play Madison in the Class 6 tournament. And you like Lansdowne's chances, as do I. And I feel like this might have surpassed. I'm going to make my Class 5 friends and coaches and athletes mad out there. I think we've both said for years that Class 5 is the strongest. I feel like now Class 6 has surpassed it in terms of the quality at the top and maybe the depth, just by a smidge. I'm not saying it's surpassed it by much, but I think we talked about best districts earlier. I think Class 6 has just edged it out. I don't know we have as much elite. You remember a few years ago when Class 5 was just loaded, where you had Henrico and Verina and, Hampton was in Class 5 one time, Bethel, Moore. There was just so many good teams, Green Run, Elsieburg. All these different teams. I think Class 6 has got a little more top-heavy teams.
I'll disagree. I still think Region 5. I'm looking at these teams hard.
Region, you Class 5.
I mean Region. I respect all those squads.
Would you like to see the Class 5 bracket to get a little feel for that real quick?
No, you leave this here because, first of all, I'm looking at Lansdowne, South Lakes, Smith, Patriot. If those,
I think that's what's going to happen too. Wow, we agree on something for a change. There's a surprise.
Madison is out of their element. Good luck.
Whoa, you just made the Warhawks want to throw stones at you. Throw Nancy Zimmerman statues at you.
They're not listening because they don't get this podcast up there.
Nancy, fine. Don't break her.
Yeah, don't. That thing that costs about $1.50. Don't mess that up.
$1.50 or $150?
$1.50. That's the only
wow.
Yeah, that's that. You have to go get it graded, and you can't do all that. You're not privy to all that stuff. I am. 6 is tremendous. But 5, and I know you'll give me 5 now, right?
I will now because I'm tired of you ordering me around and not doing what I want to do.
If I don't keep you straight, I don't know who is. So
there's your 5 bracket. All the records are set. You'll go through the regionals in a second, but there's your bracket 5. And I'm just going to tell you, I think 6 is a little bit better this year. And I would have been on your side for a change in the past, but I just think this particular year. Look, I'm going to say it. And I'm going to make everybody mad real quickly. Woodside's winning this again back to back. I just don't see how they
people send your comments. Those comments given out by Matt Hatfield are not available.
That's me being a guy who's got Potomac Falls in our last Virginia Preps Class 5 top 10, number 1 in the state. I'm going to make the bold proclamation now, and then they get beat by Albemarle. I think they've won their last 2 playoff games by 2 points each. And that's with pedigrees of LC Bird, Maury, Green Run, all teams that have won a state championship in the last, 5, 6, 7 years. Darren Centerland, his kids play hard as can be at Kempsville. They defend, they get after it. I just don't feel like it's quite at the level of Class 6, and I feel like Woodside, which you'll see their scores in a second, I feel like they're going to relatively breeze through this without much trouble.
Well, I'll agree. I think Woodside wins the 5A title, and I've said it all along.
Who will put up the most resistance to them of the 7? Who is most equipped to give them a hard? I thought it was Albemarle until they lost by 11 to LC Bird last night. Now they can still be in the mix and get to see them in the championship on March the 9th, 2 weeks from today at VC in a game that we'll hopefully be calling to conclude the state tournament up there for the NFHS network. But I don't know who can really knock them off.
Again, I'm going to look at this just sitting here. Falls plays Bird. I think Bird knocks them out. Maury, I think, is going to edge Green Run in what should be whoever has the ball last win game. And I think Woodside's playing well, and they're missing one of their key guys throughout the playoffs.
Mikel Jenkins, yeah.
Yeah, if they get him back, wow.
Does that rear its ugly head at some point?
Yeah, that's amazing. I see Woodside, Maury, Bird Falls, Woodside over Bird.
Okay.
If I'm sitting here picking way ahead
probably of time. What's going to ultimately happen as we now go through the scores super fast. You have to have like laser vision to see all that. Let's go to Class 5 here real quickly as we'll pop some music back up, and then we'll get to some girls' interviews and scores as well. There's your Class 5 bracket. Ed, are you at all surprised in any way, shape, or form at what transpired in the Region 5A, and we'll actually throw the screen so you can see both of it, Region 5B tournaments, where the scores, every game that the region champions Woodside and Green Run won were by a minimum of 16 points. That all surprised you, given how strong and competitive that area of Virginia?
Well, first round, I thought Kelvin beats Cox in a closer game, the other way around. Not overly surprised Indian River beat Salem because Indian River has abilities, but I think they beat them. I don't think they would lose that bad to Green Run when we go into the second round.
Sure.
Kempsville playing very well. And then I didn't think Green Run would knock off Kempsville that bad. I thought it would be closer with potentially a Green Run win, but I thought that would be another nail-biter right to the end. On Region B, Woodside over Kickintan. I don't want to look at Nan's River and Norview. It's a family show. I don't want to say anything.
Ooh, family show.
Yeah.
We won't talk about the 2 for 10 shooting from the foul line. You having a lead for 21 of the 32 minutes of the
and I'm not going to just say that. That game bothered me because I think I made two slow decisions in that game as a coach that really still irks me to this moment.
Well, listen, you were up in that game, and as we now go through a game, here's what we'll talk about. If that lead that became a 4-point deficit got down to 2, you stole the inbounds. Was it George Porter? His go-ahead 3-point shot took from the wing with like 12 seconds to go goes down. you're a hero and you're kissing babies, shaking hands, and doing a dance in your suit. Not sweatsuit. We're talking about your red suit.
No, I didn't wear the red suit.
But you wear
that
blue?
was senior night.
Oh, my.
I didn't have a suit on that day. It was an afternoon game. It was too hot in the gym.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a tough one to take.
My
but,
apologies.
you got to be able, as a coach, you got to be honest. I think we went man-to-man later than I should have. And
Man-to-man.
We never went to our matchup, which I should have, but cold feet took me away from it, and now that I'm second-guessing myself.
If you had your feet to the fire, you wouldn't have had cold feet.
Yeah, see, that's why sometimes I wonder why they let you in the house. Maury over Bill, but that was going to be a close one with Maury. And then the Bethel game was closer than I thought with Kingsport. And then we go into the semis. I knew Norview was up against it with Woodside. And then Kingsport was looking so good. And they were up, I think, 9 or 10 at one point, second half early. And all of a sudden, boom, here comes Maury. Boom. And then last night, I thought the difference in last night's game, Woodside was killing them in the paint. Maury was trying to get by with jump shots.
Yeah, I think our statistician extraordinaire, Mr. Mike Whittington for Stat VA, told me last night for the game, Woodside, 24 points in the first half, I think 20 in the paint. Silas Barksdale went to work.
Barksdale was doing a great
You'll
job.
hear from, we were going to do the girls. We might as well, since we're talking about Woodside, would you like to hear what Messiah Wells Stevens and Coach Stephon Welsh had to tell our Jack Lowe?
We're talking Woodside. Let's hear that.
Let's hear that. So let's do that real quickly. We will come back to some more scores. We caught up, our man Jack Lowe did, with a couple of Woodside Wolverines, Messiah Wells Stevens, the guard, and then also Stephon Welsh. You'll hear these back to back, and then you'll get Ed's reaction to that and more. And we'll get to some girls' scores as well with Darnell Dozier, Micah Ojo of Princess Anne coming your way, as well as back on the boys' side in Region 5A, Green Run coach Kenneth Harris and David Trey Miller. But right now, let's hear first from the point guard, Messiah Wells Stevens of the Woodside Wolverines.
All right, I'm here with Messiah Stevens of Woodside High School after their victory over Maury to be the Region 5B champs. Messiah, fantastic game. Just what was a bit of you guys dominated on offense there. What was a bit of the offensive game plan coming into tonight against Maury?
Hey, it was just drive and kick. That's all. Drive and kick, get to the basket, open shot.
Yeah, and you guys have had a great campaign this year. Lots and lots of victories. It's still going. However, what do you think your favorite memory has been so far this year playing on this fantastic Woodside team?
This right here. This is going to be it.
Absolutely. And what are your initial thoughts, man? 5B champs, it's a tough region. It's a very tough region to win, and you guys achieved it tonight.
I think we just going to keep going. We're going to keep getting it.
You can celebrate tonight. State tournament comes up just next week. How do you start preparing?
Yeah, we're going to keep working on us.
So there you heard from Messiah Wells Stevens of the Woodside Wolverines. Now we hear from Coach Stephon Welsh after the win with Jack Lowe here on Cova Sports TV.
All right, I'm here with Coach Welsh from Woodside after their victory over Maury High School. Coach, back-to-back region champs. What's your initial thoughts, man?
And I'm just proud of my kids. We don't look like nothing that we've been through. It's been a lot of ups and downs this season, but when I look at these guys, I see some true warriors, guys that's built to handle adversity, and young men that I know are going to be successful in life.
You guys are very successful on offense tonight, especially in that first half. Can you elaborate a little bit on the offensive game plan against Maury's accelerating defense?
Well, we know we had to come in and execute. We knew they was going to be physical. We knew they was going to be well prepared. Plummer is an excellent coach. His guys always play hard. His guys are always prepared. So, the focus for us was just executing our stuff, making sure we cut hard, screen hard, making sure we make the extra pass, making sure we take care of the basketball. And I thought we did that in long stretches tonight.
Coach, you guys have had a lot of great seasons over the last few years. What do you think has been your, best memory from this season? It could be tonight. I don't know. It's been an outstanding season, plenty of victories. What has been your favorite part of the season so far?
This one tonight, man, because like I said, we don't look nothing like what we've been through. These guys are built to really handle adversity, no matter which way it comes. We get a lot of talking at us because people expect. And I told my guys, the first run, it was fun because we didn't know. The second run is we expect, the people expect. So you're dealing with different pressures, and I think they really handled themselves like true champions.
Absolutely. Now you get to celebrate tonight, but you still got some more basketball to play. How do you finish? I guess you could say finish the story.
Ain't no celebrating. Kissville on my mind. As soon as we get on the bus, I'm gonna start working and preparing for Kempsville. So I'll celebrate when the job is finished.
So there you have it. That was Stephon Welch, the Woodside Wolverines, winner on Friday night at Norfolk State University's Eccles Hall over the Maury Commodores. Rather decisive one, Ed, as they got it done in that ball game over the local school, you say, from the city of Norfolk, 53-37. Your reaction to his comments, as well as the game where Silas Barksdale, I think he's averaging about 18 to 20 rebounds per game in the postseason, so he's a real major factor. And they got a freshman in Jordan Houston who's not too bad as well. Maury just had trouble scoring in the second half, only 16 points after halftime. And the Wolverines also got 18 points off of turnovers to just 4 for the Commodores in a game where the lead changed only once after Maury jumped out 3-0. Woodside got in front and never looked back.
Yeah, I thought it interesting on how the game plan, looking at the game plan from the sidelines for both teams. Woodside was determined to get into paint. Maury's got decent size. The young fellow, the Bell fellow, forget his first name.
Tyler Bell.
Tyler Bell.
Yeah.
Big guy, about 6'7", well over 200, fills up that middle. And they got some other long and lanky guys up front. Woodside inside, Barksdale, best I've seen him play. Best aggression I've seen him play, going all the way back to last year. He played extremely hard and well, scoring it inside fairly easy. Guards getting by and getting it there. Maury coming down, good ball movement, but they were settling, I thought, too much for the jump shot. Now, if they go in, it's fine. But again, Woodside, rebound, run out, more points in the paint for them. And Woodside executed all the way through. And I still think Maury's going to be a factor, and I still think they're going to play each other again, just in predictions. Both teams are good. And Stephon's comments about, they've been through a lot and whatever this year, and it's a tremendous. I'm not with their team to know what their ups and downs are. I can be an outsider, and I view their wins. They've got a lot of wins. I think they only had that one loss, and they took a smacking by a lot of people when they lost to Peninsula Catholic. And I came on here and said, if those two teams play 5 times, Woodside wins 3. I'll still say it. Maybe 4. I'll still say it. And I'm not discouraging Peninsula Catholic.
Well, just to put into that, at this point, I don't think it matters. I think Peninsula Catholic is on its private school journey in the VIS. And they lost a tough game to Catholic, and Woodside's on its journey to the Class 5. But I think it rattled a lot of cages on both sides. For sure. And I can tell you this, I think Stephon Welch probably used a lot of this fuel. He got dropped. I think the whole point that got lost in that whole thing was they got dropped in the local newspaper rankings from 1. Whether you agree or disagree with that, that was something he used for his team. And you coaches, all you guys want to blame the media and use us as your little whipping boys or gals or people. That's the truth. And it's the truth.
It is usually the media.
Truth. You know it.
It is. I agree. The media usually screws up.
Oh, no.
I have to say
Really?
I got to say it. Even though sometimes they consider me.
Aren't you part of the media? I was going to say, aren't you too? Oh, speaking of which, look at this.
Look at this guy in the red.
Look at this. Thank you, Will Garlick, for sending us this photo from you last Saturday. What is that? Is that Rick Pitino's cousin? Oh, we don't want to talk about Rick Pitino.
Unbelievable. Look at that red vest. That's you know what? You all don't have a picture of me in senior night with the red suit.
We don't.
The red jacket, the red pants, and the red shoes. Boy. You couldn't tell me nothing that night. And I'm getting tired when I wear that on senior night. And these little kids come up to me and start giving me a Christmas list. And one little snotty kid was talking about, where's your reindeer? See, those type of little kids, I'm going to smack them.
Why?
But then again, I want to go to
smack kids. They'll put you in a bad place.
Well, just because you got a fat man in a red suit don't mean they're all Santa Claus.
Okay.
I ain't got no white
beard.
Real
quickly, as we get ready to go to break here in a second, we're going to play an interview, then go to break. Girls' reaction to the tournament here, you've got 5A. Princess Anne outlast Deep Creek in a heck of a game on Friday night. We'll hear from Micah Ojo and Darnell Dozier in a second. So your 4 teams moving on are Princess Anne, Deep Creek, Menchville, Norview. But let's give some kudos to a couple teams that didn't make it through. Kings Fork, really good team. Maurice Safana, they knocked off Nansemond River, your school, the 2 seed. And Kellum girls, how about the job Coach Brooke Parker's doing over there? He's got a young team that had a lead on Princess Anne through 3 quarters of play in a winner go-home game. They finish up 19-5. Future's bright for them. Future's bright for Kings Fork. Despite the loss in Nansemond River 2, there are some really good girls basketball teams, and I think the future for girls basketball, not that the future isn't bright for boys, because it is. I think it's maybe even brighter because there are some really good players that are sophomores and freshmen, and I think the next couple of years could be just some outstanding hoops to watch.
Yeah, there is, and I'm going to go back and give more kudos to my partner, Leroy Skinner, head coach at Nansemond River. He's got all underclassmen except 1 senior. and they'll be back. They just picked the worst time of the year to play their worst game against a tremendous opponent. I know they beat them twice before, but the old saying, it's hard to beat a team 3 times, which I only believe is true if the first 2 games were close. You blow out a team twice and you play them a third time, you should win. But those games were close. The problem, I think, with the girls is the discrepancy between top and bottom. Look at those opening round scores.
Yeah, there's a lot of blowouts.
You don't see that as much in boys. But I will say this. I think sometimes we don't really give enough shout-outs to the girls' basketball because those top teams, they got tremendous coaches, and they've got girls that can really go. And you're going to see some tough games. And the thing about the girls, I don't care what your seed is. I don't care if you just beat somebody. It can flip in a minute. And have those teams that lost come back and win deep in the playoffs. Like Menchville plays Norview. I think Menchville knocks off Norview. And Jonathan Wilson, we just talked last night, gave my man a big hug because he played for me. It was made me look good as my point guard at Norview. And he does a tremendous job at Menchville.
It made you look good. Well, your suits make you look good, but if he made you look good, yeah, I mean that's good work.
But I think that's the problem with girls basketball. And of course, then you got Princess Anne. It's always out there. But boy, they've not struggled. It's just people are stepping up against them. It's not so much a struggle. And Darnell Dozier will tell you because he's playing a lot of young girls. And they still, like all his girls are always freshmen and sophomores.
Well, he'll tell you, and he'll tell you right now. Here is Coach Dozier, the living legend, the GOAT, with 20 region titles and counting, along with the freshman Micah Ojo. Did she fill the stat sheet or what last night? Listen to her numbers before we get ready to do this interview for Micah Ojo. 26 points, 17 rebounds, 5 steals, and 5 blocks. And she's just a freshman. Here they are after the game with us on Cova Sports TV. Okay, we're with Princess Anne girls basketball coach Darnell Dozier. Win today, 52-45 over Deep Creek. We also got the standout freshman Micah Ojo, who I think finished up with 26 points, 8 in the fourth quarter. I'll start with you, Micah, actually, since you just jumped in with this. Tell me about this one. It's your first championship for the region. It's tie game. They've come back, and you got that shot to go ahead. What's going through your mind as the crowd was going crazy on both sides?
Right now, I'm just really happy that me and my team was able to pull this through. And I think just our chemistry just really worked, and our defense, we just maintained composure throughout the game and knew that if they scored, we had to get back or things like that, And I'm just really proud of us.
Coach, this is nothing new for you. I think it's now the 20th region championship. This was a dogfight. They were up early. You got the momentum in the third quarter thanks to Micah and some big shots. I think Bahar Grewal hit some outside shots for you. But tell me what this atmosphere was like in this battle, which will get you, I think, even more prepared and ready for the state tournament coming up.
Yeah, excuse me, but we were ready tonight. It was such deep foul trouble. Deep foul. I mean, really deep, okay? But she played very well. And the whole team played well. And they hung together. And they got the experience on our side.
What's it like for you to watch this young group with this young lady next to you? Her performance today, she's doing it all season long, and is going to probably go down as one of the best players to come through your program, which has had so many standouts, right?
I'm not going to mention that one, but she's a really good player. She's really good. And she's only going to get better.
What sets her apart?
She knows the game better than most kids, okay? She can play all 5 positions. She never gets upset. She was telling me the whole game, Coach, they pull it on me, they push it on me, and we ain't getting the whistle. I said, but it happens sometimes, but we got to fight through it, and she did. She fought through it very well.
Mikey, you got some years to get all the questions about recruiting and things of that nature, but what's it like playing for a legendary coach, and what have you learned this season as a part of the PA program?
I think I've just learned so much all around, and I think he just really helped me with my all-around game. There's just so many aspects of the game that he's taught me about, and it just made me become a better player this season. What's it like, and I'll let you both go here in a second, to be on the floor with so many good freshmen and sophomores? They got some good players at Deep Creek. You might run into them again in the state semis potentially. What was this battle like out there? What was back and forth down the stretch? They were definitely a good competitive team. It was a close battle, but I think we just wanted it more to the end, and that's just how we pulled it out. Coach, I think lastly, the thing that's jumping out to me and some others that are watching is just the girls' basketball, the talent across the area. Your team's got some really good freshmen, sophomores, so many teams around the area. This is good and healthy for sport, and I know you're trying to get another ring on that finger or maybe the toes because you're running out of fingers to put them on, right?
Yeah, I have been ran out of fingers. It's good. Our last 2 games have been really tight. And it ain't really because we playing bad. It's because, I don't say that, but okay, but we are.
People are also getting ready for you all. I mean, they want to try to be the one that knocks you off too, right?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, It shouldn't be. I ain't gonna say that. But it was a good game. That's all I can say.
Well, hey, congrats on winning. We'll see you in the state tournament. Thank you so much.
All right.
Darnell Dozier was getting ready to give Baltimore more material, and he said, "Hold on, not so fast, my friend." Lee Corso, I'm not doing that.
Slow
I
down.
know what I'm doing. And by the way, you want to hear what his record is now after this win?
This is one of those.
This is insane.
Yeah,
This is just insane. After that win, we told you Ojo's brilliant numbers: 26 points, 17 rebounds, 5 steals, 5 blocks. And Bahar Grewal with a huge 3. She was on the side. First of all, it's a tie game, 40 seconds to go. Ojo goes coast to coast. I think she put the ball behind her head or back and just did this thing like Globetrotter and went and scored. And then Grewal comes down. It's a 2-point game. They get a stop. And, about 12, 13 seconds from the side, banks in a 3. Now, I tried that 15 times in horse, and I've never gotten it done. It always ends up going over the backboard and hitting people in the third row and all kinds of things.
I'm surprised you don't pull muscle just, taking your warm-up top off, because you trying to do all that stuff is not a good
I'm flexible. What are you talking about?
It's not, just stick to what you know. You do a great job with your Virginia preps and everything, but don't go out and play, because you're going to set the game back 30 years and you're going to get hurt. Just stretch it.
All right. Before we go to break here, real quickly, I want you to tell me in Class 5, there's the girls bracket. We'll zoom in a little closer because I know you're squinting over that. I don't want you to squint. There's the Class 5 bracket. What do you think? I think we might get a Princess Anne Deep Creek rematch, although Norview and Mitchell are saying, you're out of your mind. We're gonna get a rematch. I'll tell you right now, I think James River wins the upper side of the bracket for girls. And I think on the lower side, I can't go against Princess Anne. I mean, going against Princess Anne, that's just like, they say you can't go against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Well, are you going to go against Darnell Dozier? Like, you need to be drug tested if you do that.
Well,
that's nothing against Menchville, Norview, or Deep Creek. Let's just be honest here.
Oh boy, that is really tough. I'm going to lean towards Princess Anne because it's the betting choice by far. We don't bet on
it's a
high
smart
school
choice. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I don't. But just their first round game alone, Menchville.
Yeah, they could lose that.
Menchville could be the second best team on paper of this whole bracket, and they're playing PA in that first round of the state tournament. Yeah. Now, the upper, I'm not as familiar with the upper. I know James Rivers, I think, an easy pick, but something's banging on my head saying
Briarwoods.
There's going to be there's going to be a Stonebridge or Patrick Henry Roanoke. I'm feeling somebody's going to come out of there that maybe shouldn't, and we're going to be sitting at VCU saying, okay, Ed, you don't want to kind of mention you had a feeling one of these teams here, and now they're here. I just have that feeling looking at those teams.
And Classics girls, by the way, when you combine it with boys and girls, as good as 5 is, you get an even more intense discussion. I say more intense discussion because you have Mia Woolfolk, who's going to Georgia from Manchester. They just beat nationally ranked undefeated Thomas Dale. They could see them again in the state finals, although Osborne Park is a team sitting there saying, not so fast, my friend. We might get there. So the Class 6 girls finals, which will come your way on March the 9th at 11 a.m., a little bit after we do our 757 Saturday Sports Talk, so you can get your phone synchronized, programmed to watch the show, and get your computer, laptop, whatever device synchronized to watch us through the broadcast. That should be awful fun to watch as well.
I think we're going to see Dale and Manchester repeat.
I think that might happen as well. All right, we're going to take another timeout. We've got on the way more high school basketball reaction, including Green Run's Kenneth Harris, David Trey Miller, some highlights too that'll come your way, and Andrew Griffiths, head field hockey coach of Old Dominion, talk about Total Field Hockey Academy coming up starting next week. It's all coming your way with 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Hatfield and Young at the PLEX. Stay tuned.
At Zoop Eatery, you can build the perfect box lunch. A customizable and individually packaged meal for your convenience. Choose from any of their wide variety of soups, fresh salads, made-to-order sandwiches, all served with a hunk of bread and dessert. There's something for the whole crew at Zoop Eatery.
What's up at DQ? These two are debating which $7 meal deal, with fries, drink, and a sundae, is the best full-size meal deal of all.
Cheeseburger. Chicken strips.
There's something for everyone in the $7 meal deal at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels.
I used to go missing all the time. I let everyone down. I even let Shannon Sharp down.
Yeah, you let me down.
They've been told how you feel yourself doesn't matter, that electrolytes are all the same. Then just like that, they're gone. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Could be the difference between dominating and disappearing. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
Treat yourself to a visit to the Drip Bar, IV hydration and vitamin therapy in Virginia Beach. Boost your immunity, increase your energy, and promote anti-aging with our personalized treatments designed to ensure efficient nutrition absorption to rejuvenate your mind and body. Come see our chic and relaxing day spa for yourself today. We welcome walk-ins and appointments. Our medical professionals will help you achieve your best health and answer all your questions. The Drip Bar at Lansdowne Commons in Virginia Beach.
Welcome back to 757 Sports Talk. No, it's not in the pool. It's Hatfield and Young at the PLEX, the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Here are two guys that, even though they never shut up, they're always dropping pearls of wisdom. Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
So there's a little hole in the fence. Crawls through it, not jump through it.
I do not break through people's houses and crawl through the fence. Why are you telling fake news to the audience out there? That's not nice of you.
People who know me know one thing about me. I'm going to tell it like it is. You lie if you can, steal
if you must, and always cheat.
I'm just going to tell it like it is because I see it. You have been caught going through the hole in the fence of the neighbors.
I have not. You show video evidence of me doing that.
And I'm not going to go film you. People think I'm a creepazoid. No, I'm not doing that.
Creepazoid. Okay. As opposed to a freakazoid.
Yeah, this is
a creep and a freakazoid and got a creepazoid.
You're in your neighbor's pool. I think it's your neighbor when they leave.
No. They say, do you mind watching the house and you can use the pool?
They mean watch the house from a distance. And they don't really want you in the pool. But that's a whole nother story. And then he goes in the fake house with the piano.
I don't go in a fake house with the piano.
And
that's
then
a real house.
You do some stuff it's quite on the weird side. Okay, I'm just going to say it like it is. You do some good things, but you do some things that probably would have to have you arrested.
Well, maybe sometimes weird is good. Have you ever thought of that?
No, because when it comes to you take it to a whole nother level.
Okay. We have some more interviews from the regional playoffs, do we not?
Yeah, we have a nice interview here with a young man from Green Run after their big win over Kempsville.
Wait till you hear his dream school or school he hopes to get offered from, by the way.
Well, let's see what the Green Run's David Trey Miller. Trey is in threes. He gave us
he hit one by the way
last night. Let's see what he's got to say here on COVID TV Sports. Come on.
All right, with Green Run Junior forward David Trey Miller after the Stallions win the Region 5A championship over the Kempsville Chiefs tonight. 4th region title in 5 years and back-to-back for you, Trey. 11 points, I think it was, in that first quarter. You hit that 3 to end the quarter. Tell me about what that was like as it went through the net and you guys got off to a fast start.
Yeah, the game plan was to come out hard, attack the inside. You know what I'm saying? It got rough sometimes, but we just kept pushing.
The last 2 games with Kempsville, the season opener at their place, you held on and won. I know Elijah got hurt in that game. The game at your place, they had a big lead. You came storming back, took a lead, and they beat you close. What was different tonight for y'all to open it up and hold a big lead once you got the big lead?
I feel as though we kept our foot on the gas this time instead of letting them come back. You know, we a different team from the last time we played them. So.
A lot of the talk coming in was, all right, Kempsville's going to play good defense. Green Run's got some athletes, but you could be the difference inside. Did Coach Harris kind of talk about you being a focus in the paint, that you had the size advantage and the touch inside?
Yeah, we went over that before the game. They were smaller, so we was going to go inside a lot.
Let's talk a moment about recruiting. I know you've got a couple of schools looking at you, more than just a couple of schools. Who's in the picture? Any heavy interest, some offers so far?
Right now, my offers is Youngstown State University and Ohio University. As far as interest, I don't really know right now.
Have you grown up with some favorites at all, or schools you want to visit and like in the picture down the road? I know you're just a junior, but anybody you've kind of taken a liking to, you watch on TV, or you want to check out? Who would they be?
Ohio. I like Ohio a lot.
Okay.
But,
Miami of Florida?
University, yeah.
Okay, the U. All right, there you go, Coach Jim Lerner. Let's talk about your game. What's different from you as a junior as opposed to a year ago as a sophomore? It feels like being in this spot last year helped you and Cash and some of the guys that were part of the championship run, correct?
Yeah, last year, I had a rough start. I feel like I let the lights get to me last year, but I knew coming into this year's playoffs that I've already been here before, so experience and just calm down.
Sure. Last 2 for you. Best part of your game and the parts of your game you're working on. What do you think you do best on the court? What are you working on in your game?
I say what I do best on the court is getting behind the defense and playing in the open spots.
Okay.
And also what I work on is ball handling and getting past people and getting quicker.
Sure. Lastly, you guys were a 6th seed, had a losing record when you won a region championship. This year you have a winning record. It seems like you've gotten better since some of the tough games you played, including Verona a couple weeks ago in our Virginia Preps Classic. You're going to play more again for the 2nd straight year in the state playoffs. How excited are you for that challenge, and what must you do to advance this time?
We're really excited for that challenge. We got to get our get back from last year. And last year, we ain't played as physical as we could have. So this year, we're going to come into the game with a hard mentality.
David Trey Miller of Green Run as a region champion again. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
All right, we're back here on Cova Sports TV. Green Run's David Trey Miller, who had a good game, 19 points, Ed. 9 of those in the first quarter, including a trade at the top of the key. And he's got Youngstown State, Ohio on him. And Dream School, Miami Hurricanes. Jim Larinagas' team, who's having a rough year, by the way. That's my buddy, who we've long known since his days at George Mason. But and we've had him on radio many a times. He's interviewed with us many a times. A super, super dude. But Green Run's going to have to really rely on him heavily as they move into the state tournament for a matchup with Maury, who they've run into before in the basketball playoffs. You remember the late, great Ashley James, the year they beat you in the region semis to get the states. They lost to him in a region championship. That was the year Maury won the state title. They played him in the state quarters last year at Norfolk State, where the head coach of Green Run is an alum, Kenneth Harris.
That's right.
And speaking of which, would you want to hear? Do you want to hear from him?
Yeah, we definitely got to get. Come on, man, we got to get him on.
So that is Kenneth Harris, head coach at Green Run. That's his catchphrase. He actually has a shirt that says that, by the way, too. Come on, man. I think he had it before they got it on ESPN with that segment. Here he is, Coach Harris, after his team's 4th regional title in 5 years with us on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Okay, here with Green Run head basketball coach Kenneth Harris. He's a region champion again for the 2nd consecutive year, 4 times in 5 seasons as they move on to the state playoffs after beating Kempsville tonight here at Ocean Lakes. Coach, you played a couple of battles with Darren Centerland's Chiefs over the years, and this season both went down to 1 possession. What was different about tonight where you got a big lead and were able to maintain it?
It's crazy because that whole bigger court, it matters, and I don't know why we think Ocean Lakes court bigger. I don't know if it's the same thing of all courts, but it just feels bigger, and that helps when – he running jumps, and I thought that would help us tonight. Coach Sam does a great job with them kids. I mean, as you can tell, even down 20-something, they still was fighting and playing hard. So hats off to him. And we just locked in defensively was really important today.
Yeah, how much is that in the back of your mind? You got a 21-point lead. They erased a 29-point deficit against Lansdowne in a game they lost eventually in overtime. But you know that the run's going to come, and you've been a part of those. You've had big lead or been down double digits and made comebacks yourself.
Man, that clock was in slow motion, and it was like 5 minutes for a long time. And I kept saying I was never comfortable, because I know that they're capable of hitting threes and they'll get turnovers, and they live off turnovers. I don't know how many turnovers we had, but, you know, they live off that, and they a lot made us turnovers, you know, and I thought we started off the game well. That was real big. So, you know, not having Kassan today kind of hurt us a little bit as far as the pressure, but, you know, we got to do next man up. We got to be ready.
What's his status? Will he be back for you in the state quarters?
He will be back. He will be back. So, you know, he's just a little minor injury. You know, and thought it would be best that we rest him today.
Sure. We talked about it, I think, in our last interview. Your football guys like Kassan, for our knowledge, Harold giving you a big spark. Harold also saving me from getting totally trampled there as he was going for a hustle play. And then your two juniors, David, Trey Miller, Cash Jackson. You said you weren't comfortable, but it looks like they're more comfortable. They got off to a great start to the game, especially Trey shooting the ball free. What have you seen from them during this playoff run? Similar to last year's in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I call Big Trey my diesel, man. Crank the diesel up, man, and you know, and I felt like he started off that game, man, and you know, he was determined to lead us, you know. And Cash has been our floor general all year. You know, knowledge, man. He's like I don't know what kind of MVP he could be, but he's definitely that where he's needed on the court. You know, he brings that defense mentality and that physical mentality.
Yeah, hard hat guy. Another one for you that quietly had really good numbers was Sorrell Straker. I think he had about 8 or 9 rebounds off the bench, and you had guys that came in. Your second unit gave you a big lift, didn't he?
Sorrell, man, senior man that does just been with us. You know, he's seen it all. He's born a stallion, man, so he knows what to expect. He has to do a lot. He has to cover big. He has to handle the ball. He does a lot. We got Malik Gooden. He comes in and gives good minutes for Cash when he needs a break. So we have guys that come off. Trey Cooper, who came in, you know, he may have not hit a shot, but what he did was kept that clock going and didn't turn that ball over.
Two more for you. Do you feel like that the culture you've all instilled at Green Run, now I said 4th region title in 5 years for you, and being on the bright lights before last year at Scope, that helped you tonight and is going to help you moving forward?
Oh, it definitely helps, man. And then the opponents we play, man, all year, that prepares us for games like this. I thought when we went to North Carolina for the Christmas tournament, that really helped us gel and figure this team out a lot more. You know, just playing last year in big moments, you know, we tell kids when you come to Green Run that you're playing for Green Run and you're playing for what's on your chest. So when you're playing for what's on your chest, that's going to allow you to play as a team and get to it trying to win a championship.
Yeah, playing a lot of teams that have been in the state tournament like Verina and Lansdowne, among others. Yes. And lastly, speaking of the state tournament, you'll get a rematch with Maury, it looks like, in the quarterfinal round. Your thoughts on that matchup coming up?
I don't know what to say on that one, but that's what we got. So, never beat. I mean, haven't beat Plummer. Plummer does a great job. Much respect. That's gonna be a tough game. They got a gritty point guard. I think him and Cash, you know, sometimes they get overlooked. Lay is like a bulldog, man, and you know, Plummer, and they got the big boy. It's tough, man. Parker, we just got to be ready to play. You know, everybody's gonna be good at this point. So if you're trying to make it, you know, you're gonna have to go through some greyhounds, man. And Moore is definitely one of them.
Well, thank you so much. Congrats on their championship. We'll talk again soon.
All right.
So that was Coach Kenneth Harris of the Green Run Stallions, a winner on Friday night over the Kempsville Chiefs as they move on to the state tournament after their 4th regional title in 5 years. It is Hatfield and Young at the PLEX 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Ed, your thought on this Green Run team, which had some close losses, but it feels like they're starting to peak at the right time. And you heard him mention Trey Miller as his diesel. You got to ride the diesel this time of the year, huh?
You got to do what got you there. And if it's players that are playing well, you hope they keep doing it. But a lot of times in these tournaments, you'll see it. There's going to be somebody off that bench that you didn't expect to maybe have that great of a game, and they either hit a big shot, great defensive play. I was looking for that and the excitement that brings too. But normally it's your guys that have been delivering all year, and you know, it's the stuff you work for when you go back into the summertime and sweating out there and playing summer leagues and getting ready in the fall. So excited about it. But you know, Kenny's he's a fun interview to watch. He's always worried about something. And I always try to get him just to relax, trust your players, trust your system. And right now they're playing well. And problem is, though, they're running into Maury. Maury is one of those type of teams that can hit you from all 5 sides in terms of scoring, and a couple decent kids off the bench. And I think a lot of times, too, your depth is important in the this regional playoff.
Yeah, it really can be, as we, again, see the state tournament brackets now. Green Run, Maury, LC Bird, Massaponax, Potomac Falls, Albemarle, Woodside, Kempsville. Class 4 state tournament is set. Those are the matchups. You got Charlottesville, Tuscarora, Loudon Valley, Jefferson Forest. Dinwiddie taking on Hampton, Verona playing Churchland. Just to recap the scores from those games for the folks that have not seen it or just waking up this morning, you want to know who beat who. There's your Region 4A bracket. The Crabbers won. I think Eric Brown's doing a really, really solid job. Remember, he lost one of his guys that transferred to Peninsula Catholic and Jalen Wynn, but here they are. Deron Ball played really good in the game we saw against Kings Fork when they snapped their long home winning streak. Gavin Kay is a prospect to watch out for years to come. I think he's from the class of 2026. Malik Johnson's been a veteran wing for them that has stepped it up. And this Crabbers team looking mighty good right now, as are the Hampton girls. Shonda Bailey's got defending state champs. Kalia Perry had a good game for them last night as they beat Jamestown 53-35 behind Perry's 14 points. And we'll go through the 4 bracket and girls in a second. But Johnson leading the way for the boys with 18 points. I think we're all expecting a collision course with Verina, who put up 91 on the board on Dinwiddie, who knocked off Henrico and Cortland, 2 and 3 seeds in surprising fashion. It would be a surprise if we don't get a Hampton-Verina matchup. That's nothing to disparage Churchland, who's got a really good player, and Sincere Jones leading the way, or Dinwiddie.
I'm shaking my head because what I'm seeing here is the 2 best teams in my mind by far, Verina and Hampton, and they're going to play in the semis.
Not the championship, which bothers you.
They
should do what Class 6 is doing?
Yeah.
Well, you said that, but we need to show you C and D so you get a view of it. Tuscarora, who was 23-2, fell to Loudoun Valley. Loudoun Valley won a few years ago with Jordan Miller, who, by the way, played at Miami for Jim Larinaga, also played at George Mason. He now in the NBA with the Clippers. I think maybe the G League. He's been with the Clippers, 2-way contract. Was a state player of the year a few years back. You also got Charlottesville, who I saw a couple Mondays ago against Albemarle. They lost their Jefferson District Tournament Championship to Albemarle, but they've regrouped and won the Region 4D title, beat Jefferson Forest. So you don't give much of a chance to, as we go back to the state bracket here quickly, to, let me scroll all over the place here, Jefferson Forest, Loudoun Valley, Charlottesville, or Tuscarora to beat, assuming either reigning 2-time champ Verina or if Hampton was to dispatch the Blue Devils before the final.
No, I'm sorry, people out that way. Hampton and Verina are by far the best, and you can almost throw Churchland in there, potentially number 3. But it's a shame that Verina and Hampton are going to meet in the semis.
How can you say that? You haven't seen Charlottesville, Tuscarora, Loudoun Valley, Jefferson Forest play.
Yeah, and I should shut my mouth, but I can't.
Yeah, you should, but you can't.
But I'm not.
We need masking tape.
And
that won't even do the trick.
Those kids out there are doing a great job, and hats off to you, but you're not at the level Hampton and Verina are. And I really
hats off to them. You just bashed them and said they have no chance. What do you mean hats off to them?
That's not bashing them. It's telling them, from my opinion seat, you're not as good as Hampton and Verina. I don't care what you have. You're not as good as those 2 teams. And again, this is another great situation where these predetermined matchups are not good. You want to have the 2 best teams in the state guide. Now, I sit here saying all this, and yeah, those other teams over there can knock them off, and Hampton and Verina lose in the first round. I'll look like a fool. But I'm telling you right now, as it is, it's Hampton and Verina best 2.
Okay. We go to Class 3 here quickly. Your feeling on the Lake Taylor Booker T. Washington matchup today at Norfolk State. How about you saw Booker T the other day? You were thoroughly impressed with both Zamarion Mitchell, who we had on the show last week, along with Levi Wall, had a kid with him, which was so cool. And you also were impressed with Antonio Williams, young guard for Booker T, who's a sophomore. You like that group a lot, but this is a machine they're going into today, is it not?
It's a high energy group with Booker T, but they're playing a team they're very familiar with in Norfolk schools. Here we go. Lake Taylor is just really that old saying about operating on all cylinders. Everybody's contributing and doing a tremendous job, and they're playing full of confidence. Up and down, their half-court game isn't that bad because as you get deep in region and state plus, you have to have a decent half-court game. You can't just run up and down the floor all the time and expect to wham, bam, jam it, whatever.
Wham, bam, jam it, or what was that?
You're going to have some half-court game.
Put that on a T-shirt, Underdog.
Put that on. If it's not trademark, maybe we could try to do that. Let's have our
your little cartoon logo. Yeah,
let's get Nick and the staff. Somebody's telling me we're going to have a staff pretty soon.
We want to thank Ethan and Nick today for their work today.
Yeah, we got to mention the kids. We got the kids coming on the show, and they're going to try to make us look better, sound better, and wait till they deal with this guy right here. This nut job of myself, let alone your aspatic manners that have to come in there. You got to use the right vocabulary. But hey, Region 3.
How you spell that?
With letters.
Okay. Alphabet soup. Got it.
Lake Taylor wins this. Now, who let's go to the next round. Let's move to the next round. I'm ready to roll to the next round. What do we got? Lake Taylor.
Well, hold on a second. I want you to see the B and C and D. We're getting ready to take a break. I just want you to process this, digest it, let it marinate.
Oh, I see Western Albemarle. Ooh.
They beat Spotswood. Were you surprised by that real quickly?
Yeah, a little bit.
Because you like to make these bold proclamations, and I got to rewind you and backtrack because you're just going all over the place.
I'm like dirt. I'm all over.
You're like dirt.
I'm like you were in high school. I'm all over the hallways. I'm all over the place. Western Albemarle is going to take on James Monroe.
Albemarle is going to take on James Monroe.
Well, I think Western.
Well, no. They're going to take on. Wait. Now you're all over the place, Dalga. Let me. No, Meridian is going to play in the state quarters.
Okay.
The loser. I'm sorry. They're going to play the winner of Lake Taylor Booker T. James Monroe is going to play the loser of Lake Taylor Booker T. So I think you're expecting a James Monroe Booker T Lake Taylor Meridian, right?
Yes.
You think we get a Lake Taylor Booker T rematch?
Could be.
Could be.
I'm going to put the. I'm going to say Lake Taylor's winning the whole thing.
Okay. So, well, you didn't even see C and D. You don't need to see C and D.
Well, put them up there.
I just did. There they are.
Oh, well, Western Albemarle. Well, no, hold on now. Let me see.
Well, exactly.
Let me see here. Tunstall's. Oh, North Side. Kind of hot dang. All right. It looks like
you might have to retract what you just said.
I'm going to stay with.
By the way, Tunstall's only loss was to who? Do you know? You should know this if you pay attention.
Smith.
Oh, very good. I'm impressed. You didn't know that.
Your Virginia Preps Classic.
Good job by you. I'm impressed. I take back everything I said about you that wasn't true, or it might have been true.
You don't have to take much back, so that's not a compliment.
All right.
That's not bad. North Side's good. Oh boy, Lake Taylor. They will not waltz through this.
Oh, you just said they were. Now you're going backwards.
Well, I'm staying with Lake Taylor, though. I like the way they play, and they got another thing. Now, I will say this in all seriousness. Lake Taylor, you're going to have to – these teams are going to make you play half court. So your half court game is going to be strong. Now, they've got a couple bigs.
Mello Baines and Elijah Moss Washington, we heard from in December, who's going to Syracuse for football.
He's an NFL receiver.
Ooh, that's high praise.
He's an NFL
receiver. Not for the Raiders, though.
Well, let's hold on now. So it's what, 4 years from now? Let's wait.
4 years?
5 years now. Okay. Yeah, let's wait.
Okay.
We'll
wait.
Of course, with the money they're making in college, it might be 7 years.
This is true.
Yeah, you stick around. Well, why not? True. Shoot, 5th grade was the best 5 years of your life.
It was.
You didn't get no
I loved it. 5th grade was awesome.
Finger painting in 5th grade.
Oh, I loved it. It was beautiful. 5th grade was just wonderful.
None of your parents try to sell you.
And by the way, as we get ready to take the break, it'd be much easier if I did it this way. There's your Class 3 bracket. That helps Ed Young for who's all over the place.
Why didn't we go to this ahead of time?
Because I had
all over the place.
Editorial. I had accidentally John Marshall in the 3 brackets. I had to fix it while you were doing all that. So I was tap dancing while you were tap dancing.
This is why when I talked to my agent about working with you,
there's Class 2 and Class 1 as we go to break. You've already said John Marshall wins this, so there's no need to go through it.
This
again,
is
right?
the John. Take that state tournament title off.
John Marshall
Invitational. This is the rights to lose to John Marshall in a state championship game, and it will be. Oh, shoot. Bruin has to play them in the semi. They won't be able to play them in state.
Oh, shoot. I'm glad you said shoot instead of something else.
No, keep it clean. Keep it clean. It's a family show.
Like one of our recent guests recently, by the way.
Well, some people get excited.
Yeah.
Watch out for Graham.
Watch out for Graham.
But
the G-men.
Yeah, but John Marshall.
Nice that you didn't call them Crackers today.
Yeah. That would still be a great nickname, Graham Crackers.
No, they're the G-men. They're not the Crackers. That would be bad. That would not go over well.
That
would not go over well.
Yeah. You got to watch today's political collect. That would not work.
No, what?
Can't work. We're not out here to disparage nobody. But that's just John Marshall's been winning by an average of 61 points in their playoffs. It will go down to probably 59 in the state tournament. It's just
in Class 1, we got to wait to see who wins region championship games, which are
today. Why are they so far behind?
Well, they haven't caught up to the eastern part of the state. That's why. But I like Lancaster, the reigning state champ, to get back. How about today? Auburn and George Wythe play for the 4th time in a region final there. I think those two could certainly see each other again for a 5th time in the state semis. How about that? They could play each other 5 times in a season. And right now, Auburn's won the first 3 meetings. I do think Wythe will get one of those meetings. It could be today. It could be in the state semis. What Auburn's not hoping is that they win today and lose to them in the state semis, because that would sting if you beat someone 4 times and lose to them the 5th. That would, and that's happened before in girls basketball, by the way. That has happened before.
I'm going Lancaster all the way through.
All the way through
against probably a George Wythe.
Okay.
But I hope we can hear somewhere. He's hotter than a stolen car, Butch.
But you can hear it right now real quickly if you want to hear it.
That's the reason that we get
Cade,
some of the greatest.
Cade Morrison.
Out to Brady Bishop. 15 seconds remaining. Morrison, one more time. What's he do? He sinks it. Three-pointers in a row for number 34, Cade Morrison. He's hotter than a stolen car, Butch.
Oh, that never gets old. That never gets old. It doesn't. It never gets. I was watching that live. I fell out of my chair when I heard that. Thank goodness you didn't say it on the air because they would have probably yanked us off there if we did that. Before we go to break, how about our man Nick Senti here? He had last week Mr. Byron, who won the Daytona 500. It actually was Monday in the Redux. So there you have it.
Nick knows some stuff about
does.
the vehicles that
so
go fast.
you can take his word for it. Ryan Blaney wins this week. He's already chimed in for all you fans of NASCAR auto racing. That's his selection. So
I go with the old school guys like a Denny Hamlin, a Chase Elliott, but they don't seem to get the whole way through.
Don't think okay.
I'm gonna go without looking at a lot of.
I'm not making a pick on this. Mine was so bad last week. I don't even know where Gibbs finished. He probably didn't finish in time.
My eyes keep stopping on Kyle Larson. I wonder if that's a good pick.
Probably not for you. Now that you said that, he'll unfortunately probably end up wrecking.
Probably
the car.
blow a gasket or muffler fall off or something.
Wreck a car.
He'll go right when they're supposed to be going left.
I like the Blaney pick. That's a shrewd selection there by Mr. Nick.
Yeah, that's not bad. Right? Yeah. That's not bad. I love the car races. The problem is there's a lot of noise, and they're always going. They're always going left. I'm going to see when somebody has to take a quick right.
Well, we're going to exit stage right because we have another commercial break to take. We got Andrew Griffiths coming around the corner here for Total Field Hockey Academy. As you see, that's coming your way in just a little bit here.
Nice.
So stay tuned right here with Hatfield and Young 757 Saturday Sports Talk at the Plex. We'll be back after we hear from some of our sponsors right now.
We're celebrating everyone who creates joy because joy comes in all flavors. It's bold and full of color and the perfect mix of vibes. It adds flavor, rhythm, a voice. Te hace sentir que vuelas, and it can't be contained. This is my joy.
Boom, dum, dum. Get low, get low, get low. 369, ooh, she fine. Hoping she can sing it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low.
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
And welcome to this latest edition of Field Hockey with Hatfield, also available on 757 Saturday Sports Talk with us on Cova Sports TV. Glad you are tuned in wherever you may be watching. Matt Hatfield here with you. We have a special guest with us. He is the head field hockey coach at Old Dominion University, fresh off a dazzling 14-6 season, 2023 Big East Tournament champs and NCAA tournament appearance for him. I think just wrapping up his 11th year at the helm in Norfolk. Andrew Griffiths with us here, and we'll talk about the Total Hockey Academy coming up in Virginia Beach here that will start up next week and also go through March and April. Coach, thank you for stopping by. How's the off-season been for you?
Thanks, Matt. It's good to be here. It's actually been great. It's been really interesting and different from any other year for us because we've got 4 mid-year transfers, which is really unusual. Transfer portal, as you know, probably from many sports, has changed the landscape a lot. And so every year you have this transition after a season into the next iteration of the team and new leadership. And this year, incorporating 4 new faces and personalities has been interesting. But it's going great so far, been really competitive, and we're competing in an indoor tournament in a week and a half. And so it'll be a good check to see where we are.
Now, for those that don't know about your background, tell the audience a little bit about it. You played internationally as a member of the Canadians men's national team, over 200 games on the international front, 2000 Olympic Games in Sydney. And then also I was fascinated to find out that you got a broadcast journalism major or degree, I should say, from Toronto, Ontario. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it's funny how life takes weird paths sometimes, but I didn't really know what I was doing, what I was going to do after I finished competing and playing for Canada. And after the Olympics in 2000, I was kind of up in the air. I'd gone through a master's in journalism, broadcast journalism, thinking I might get into something with the world that you're in, with the internet and just growing at that time. And I was really interested in that. And then coaching came up, and I'd been doing that just, to help out people and younger players for a while anyway. And I went to Maryland, took a volunteer assistant job for a little bit, and just found out that I loved it and ended up being decent at it. So things went from there, and one thing led to another. Met my wife down here, and I've been back to Canada since, but I haven't thought about moving back actually because I've had great opportunities here.
And if I'm not mistaken, you coached at Boston College for a little bit, top 5 program in the nation, and then it brought you to Old Dominion, where you've been for over a decade, and you've made the program one of the best around. I imagine it's been a whirlwind in a lot of respects, but also a great deal of fun.
Yeah, my first head coaching job was actually Lafayette College in Pennsylvania, and we managed to develop them into a strong team. Won the Patriot League championship twice, and then got the opportunity down here. And it being a bigger program historically, came in, and there have been a lot of changes. So it took some time for us to really get to where we wanted to be, but we're getting there now, and we've been really good for top 20 team for the last probably the last 5 years now, and got a great coaching staff and great team there at the moment. Culture is great. So, and 11 years is a good amount of time to be at a place, and I see our success continuing.
Absolutely doing just a wonderful job there. And I want to hit on that just a little bit with you as far as, before we get to this Total Hockey Academy coming up, just the growth of the sport. You've seen it internationally, globally, if you will, not just on a local and statewide perspective, but I imagine you also marvel when you see all the great talent we have across our area in Virginia Beach, the high school players. And then I know just a few years back, the Big Ten came here for Big Ten at the Beach. Just the wealth and growth of field hockey in general it's got to be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I think women's sports in general are taking off, and the popularity of them and people's appreciation for them, as well as men's sports. So, lacrosse, and you see bigger crowds at basketball games, and field hockey certainly part of that as well. And the opportunities that are there in field hockey, the U.S. team just qualifying for the Olympics was a huge positive for us because they haven't made it the last two sessions, and one of our former players, Danielle Grega, who will we expect to make an appearance at the Total Hockey Academy, is she graduated from ODU about 5 years ago, and she developed really into a great player. She's a striker on the national team and was part of that qualifying experience for the USA for the Olympics, which is awesome. So this is going to be a fun year for them going to Paris.
So awesome. We're talking with Andrew Griffiths, head field hockey coach at Old Dominion University, reigning Big East tournament champions. We've got the Total Hockey Academy coming up, 757 Saturday Sports Talk and Field Hockey with Hatfield with you on Cova Sports TV, also available on YouTube, Twitter, X as they call it now, and Facebook, as well as all over the web here with us. Coach, I think there's been so many changes in every sport. You mentioned it, NIL, transfer portal, all different things. But what's the biggest thing you've noticed that's different in your sport when you started coaching to now? Anything drastic? It may be technically with the game, or would it be something outside of that?
There are a lot of things. I actually been talking about this recently when I watched the international game now, both men's and women's. The skill level and the speed of the game has just accelerated massively, and it's fun. It's really a great game to watch. There's a lot of aerial play now, which there didn't used to be, and they've allowed that to go a little bit more with safety in mind still. But it's that's been a huge development in the actual technical and tactical part of the game, because it's changed completely. There's a self-start rule, so on a free hit, like in soccer on a free kick, you can actually play it to yourself now and then run. This has been in for a while, but it's changed the transition part of the game a lot. But in terms of the college game, also huge changes. Some for the good. Some coaches argue that it's gone a bit too far, but there's a lot of been a lot of a push for the rights of the student athlete, and very much rightly so. Used to be that you couldn't transfer unless the coach gave you the okay to transfer. And sometimes a coach wouldn't be happy with losing a good player, so they'd just say no, or they'd say they could block you from transferring to certain places. And now the balance of power has swung for sure towards the student athlete in the sense that there's more freedom for them to make decisions. Some of them take it, when they're unhappy somewhere, instead of working through it and looking at themselves to try and find the answer, they blame it on a coach, and then they get out of town. But they find that they run into the same problem elsewhere. So I think that's an evolution. It's going to find a balance at some point. It's going to maybe go too far one way or too far the other way, but in the end, it's good for its growth. It's good. It's a reflection of society as well, where there's more power with the individual and less with the institution, and it's not a bad thing as long as you can. As a coach, you have to learn how to adapt to that.
Indeed, and I was just telling someone the other day how invaluable things like a coach's clinic, or as we're going to put up on the screen now, the Total Hockey Academy coming up, are for so many people involved. You see yourself, along with coaches, one of your assistants, head coach at Virginia Wesleyan, Riley Vandervelde, and some other coaches involved with this. It's coming up this Wednesday, the final Wednesday of February, and it will also be open to all in March, April. You see the dates there, ages 15 through 18, ages 10 through 14. Cost is $420. Curriculum developed and led by elite NCAA and international coaches, coming up at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach, right next to us there at the PLEX, where we do so many of our broadcasts and podcasts. And Coach, tell me how this all came about and what people will get from it.
Well, coaching clinics for college coaches sometimes it's a money grab, and sometimes it's recruiting's involved in it as part of it. Getting kids on campus. But the thing I love about coaching is watching the development. And so I've run an academy like this before, back when I was at Lafayette, but I haven't had the chance to do it here. And the opportunity came up working with Chuck and Beanie at the Sportsplex, and to put in a series that went over a period of time, so you could really see development. And the way that from my experience, learning happens is not it's not in a one-time session. It takes time for the young players to develop and put in the work on particular skills. And one of the things that we have done is try and make it a fun environment to be in, and which is appreciated by today's youth. So we'll have music going. We'll do everything we do will be dynamic and in a reflection of what the game's like now. It's not a static game. It's very it's not move slowly around, see what's happening. It's all high speed stuff, and so we're aiming to incorporate fundamentals and basics, but at speed. And so I think it'll be a lot of fun, and we've got a great curriculum lined up and some great coaches coming in who all have that same mindset. So I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be fun. And also it's actually a great price for 10 sessions. I saw a camp advertised at a college the other day for $200 for a 4-hour session. And I'm thinking, God, that's a steep price for one short session. So this is over 10 weeks, and I think it's a great deal.
It is, and I think you're getting the bang for your buck. The quality's there. You're getting top-notch coaching and development and the tutoring. You hit on something that's so near and dear to me, because I've been to so many various camps, combines, if you will, those type of events, off-season events, and the standing around, the waiting, sometimes it's the boredom will set it. And now with today's youth, I mean, everybody's attention span in this social media era and age that we live in, the dynamic word you said, and having the constant motion and being on the move, it keeps the attention span, but it also helps with the growth of these athletes. So it's going to be very influential for them from that perspective, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we do, our sessions, even at ODU, we don't run 3-hour practices. We run practices that are moving. And yeah, there's times that we have to do tactical stuff, but they're not dragged out and long. We don't do long video sessions because we were all kids and even back before things sped up, you want to be kind of motivated, you want to be excited, and if you're an athlete, you want to go. And so one of the formats will be setting up rotations where they do a 10-minute rotation with a station. So they get enough reps, an introduction to the drill or the skill or the concept. And then we'll have music playing, and then they'll move on to the next station, do something else with a different coach, move on to the next. And then we'll go into some gameplay. And the sessions are 90 minutes long. There will not be a lot of sitting around at all in that time. It'll be, go grab a drink of water, get back out, and get on to the next thing.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think what you all are striving for is to make each athlete that come out better from this. They want to get improvement, growth from it. And so if there's a mom or a dad out there, a parent or relative that hears this interview and they're saying, I think I've got a youngster that's going to be pretty good, but I don't know how good. This is also a barometer to see and test their skills to see where they measure up against others and what they've got to get better at, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are relatively small, so everyone's going to get an opportunity to learn what they need to learn. So it's not one size fits all kind of thing. And as we've got the age group split up, and we'll just adjust, where players go based on what they need at the time. And I think by the end of 10 weeks, the core group of us who are running it will know all these kids, and so we'll be able to actually help them develop. And as opposed to, we run a clinic at the university and then 45 kids show up, and then you've got them for 2 hours. There's no way you're learning everyone's name. But this time there's repetition, and as long as the commitment's made on the athlete's behalf to come and attend those sessions, they don't have to, but they're paying for it. So I would, if it was my children. Then they're going to get something significant out of it. It's not a money-making scheme, that's for sure.
Well, and that's a big deal too, because so many of different events, they'll have 100, 200, they don't cap a number. And then maybe those athletes that aren't maybe at a certain level, or whoever is, in a spot, might not get the proper tutoring they need, and you don't get the value out of it. With it being limited to the first 30, you'll get a lot more personal one-on-one time and kind of get a feel for things. And if those out there want to register, how can they do so? They go to the Plex, they go with you. How do they do so? And if they want to find out more, how can they find out more?
Well, they can contact me directly. My contact information is all on the ODU website, or they can reach out to through the link to the Sportsplex and get on there. But the last thing I'll say is that this is really personal to me in from another angle, because I've got 2 teenage boys who are both athletes, and I go and watch them at camps all the time. ID camps and all this stuff, and I see the same thing over and over again. When I see one that actually does it right, that sticks with me. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, and parents are welcome to watch and take on the information themselves. Don't come on the field, but they can watch from the side and ask questions as we go. But yeah, hopefully. I think we're going to have a great turnout and a great experience.
Oh, so cool. You see all the information. Again, we have it up on our website, beachsportsplex.com, and you'll see it through our social channels as well. Total Hockey Academy coming up. Don't miss it. Regional Training Center. You've got some of the top NCAA and international coaches like Coach Andrew Griffiths of Old Dominion and so many others involved with this. Registration capped at the first 30 players. The age groups you see 15 through 18, 5:30 to 7, ages 10 through 14, 7 to 8:30. Also March the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, the 27th, as well as April 3rd, 10th, 16th, 24th, and 30th. And before we let you run, Coach, I want to get 2 more with you here and let you run. You mentioned your teenage kids. Tell us about them a little bit, what grades they are and what sports they're dazzling in. Are they multi-sport athletes as well?
Well, one of them just he's a soccer player. He just committed to Randolph-Macon
awesome.
For this fall, so he's a senior. So that was exciting. Had a celebration dinner for him for that just happened a couple of weeks ago. And that was a good process, especially seeing it from my perspective. The other one's he's 14 and he's a volleyball player and a soccer goalie. So that's been interesting as well. And I like them doing different sports because I think it gives them different perspectives on things.
Terrific. And I'll let you go on this. Quick outlook on next season. I know things change from day to day, week to week, month to month, but how things looking for the Monarchs over there at Old Dominion?
Well, we're super excited so far. I mean, 2 years ago we won the Big East regular season. Last year we won the championship, and I think we've got a core that is really strong. We lost a few important players, but we also retained a good core and added in some more. So I don't know. I mean, I'm always optimistic, but I think next year we can go. Our goal is to go a step further. Get into the NCAA tournament, go further along than we did this year, and can't wait. Actually, can't wait to get started.
We look forward to it. Continue the success over there at ODU. Andrew Griffiths, the head field hockey coach over there, and they got the Total Hockey Academy coming up at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach next week. Go sign up. Should be lots of fun. Hey, appreciate you doing this. Look forward to chatting with you again soon, and we'll talk down the road.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Andrew Griffiths, our guest here with Field Hockey with Hatfield at the Plex and on Cova Sports TV. We've got more to come your way here, also on 757 Saturday Sports Talk, but we'll hear now from some of our sponsors that make it possible. Stay tuned.
Treat yourself to a visit to the Drip Bar, IV hydration and vitamin therapy in Virginia Beach. Boost your immunity, increase your energy, and promote anti-aging with our personalized treatments designed to ensure efficient nutrition absorption to rejuvenate your mind and body. Come see our chic and relaxing day spa for yourself today. We welcome walk-ins and appointments. Our medical professionals will help you achieve your best health and answer all your questions. The Drip Bar at Lansdowne Commons in Virginia Beach.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
At CHKD, sports medicine is more than just treating injuries. It's a whole team approach to caring for young athletes. With experienced physicians, surgeons, trainers, and rehab specialists here when kids and teens need them most. Our experts help young athletes prevent injuries too, with advanced training and conditioning programs that keep them in the game safely. CHKD Sports Medicine, where kids are more than patients and we're more than a hospital.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and that evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
Yes, Stewie back with us. You got to love that. 757 Saturday Sports Talk with all of you out there on this Saturday of February 2024. It's hard to believe this is the final Saturday of February, isn't it, Ed? Because the March, I should say, the March to March and Madness is on, isn't it?
It is definitely on. It's the next excitement thing going on in sports, even though we got spring training baseball going on that excites a lot of the baseball people, but we don't worry about baseball until after the All-Star break for some reason.
Well, sometimes. We don't worry about the NBA till the All-Star break or baseball?
Well, NBA right now.
Oh, I know you're trying to worry about the All-Star break with the NBA.
NBA's taking a lot of hits, and I'm in there with it too. Still love NBA basketball, but they're going to have to do better.
Yeah, well, we appreciate Woodrow Wagner and so many others tuning in on Cova Sports TV, where you are watching us on YouTube, VirginiaPreps.com, Facebook through our Cova Sports TV and Virginia Beach Sports PLEX Facebook channels, and on Twitter or Facebook or Twitter or X, I should say, at 757 Sports Talk. We're all over the web, and it is time to give you our state championship predictions for all 12 classifications plus. If they want to know where, for the radio to hear the games, you can hear it on a good question, Woody. I will be doing some ODU women's basketball today. Fox Sports 13:10 a.m. The ladies in action after the Georgia State men taking on Georgia State. Also airs on 94.1 FM as well. Just ODU Sports Radio Network. Go to ODUsports.com. There's a link right there to find it. That's the easiest way to do so. So appreciate that question. As the ladies try to get to the NCAA tournament this year, under Delisha Milton-Jones, the fearless leader of the Monarchs, do another great job. 19 wins and counting for them. We're going to give you our 12 picks, 6 boys, 6 girls for the state championships, and then we'll sign off after we give you our college basketball upset today. We'll actually scroll that across the ticker now for those that are the college hoops fans. Real quickly, we'll give you the top 25 games. And we've also been showing you the Virginia High School League Hall of Fame inductees for 2024. We want to congratulate all those great folks like Rudy Ward, Joyce Sisson, and others that we know. Well deserved for all of them. But let's go to our brackets, Ed. We'll go to get one pick each. We'll see who's right, who's wrong, who can brag, who can gloat, and who has to buy the Gatorade the next time we do the show. Here we go. Class 6, give us your pick. I'll give you my pick on the boys' side. I'll let you go first.
On 6, give me. I'm going to go Lansdowne over.
You're going to give us who they beat, too. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'm going to go Lansdowne over Smith.
Ooh, you don't think I'm going to go Lansdowne over Patriot, but I will not be surprised if South Lakes makes it through.
Lansdowne and South Lake should be on opposite brackets.
With Jordan's, I agree, but that's how they cross-bracketed this year, which they should. By the way, they did what they should do for other divisions, so I'm not going to get mad at Class 6 for that. I don't be surprised if Jordan Scott and the Seahawks, under the direction of Coach Mike Desmond, get through, though. It would not surprise me. Class 5, I already said it. I got Woodside winning it, but I'm gonna go Woodside over Bird. Tempted to pick Albemarle, but they lost to them. I do think Albemarle beats Potomac Falls. What do you got?
Let me see here. Bird beats Potomac Falls. I'm going Woodside over Bird.
So you agree with me, copycat?
Yeah.
You go first for Class 4 so I can copycat you. We both have commented we like Hampton and Verona to meet in the semis, which should be a championship game. So where are you going to see who ultimately wins this thing?
I hate to say this out loud, but I got a small inkling Verona over Loudoun Valley.
Ooh, I have Verona winning it as well, but I'm going to go Verona over the Black Knights of Charlottesville. There's my pick. Now watch Tuscarora beat them, and I'll be wrong completely on that deal. As we move it on to the Class 3 picture, we've now got that figured out. Well, some of it. We got to see who wins today.
Yeah, there's too many.
Well, there's too many today, and that
teams could be in either bracket.
That could affect our picks. We will have disclaimers with asterisks.
Yeah,
or asterisks.
Especially the girls in single A. That's
by the way, why are words like asterisk and asterisk so hard to say? Or cinnamon and simonin? There's an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond. They talked about that. It's so hard. There's hard words to pronounce.
I can't say condensation.
Yeah,
it's a word I can't say. Condensation.
But you can be condescending. What's your pick for Class 3?
I'm gonna go Lake Taylor over Western Albemarle.
Okay, you're going Western Albemarle there. I'm going to go with Lake Taylor over, for the time being, I could change this given on the bracket, so I want to put that disclaimer out there. For right now, I'm going to go Lake Taylor over Northside. Class 2 picks. Here you go. We both have the John Marshall Invitational. The question is over who. You said earlier who you had. Who was your pick? You said earlier. I forgot.
I forgot.
You said Graham. Did you say Graham? Was it Graham you had?
Graham. Yep.
You got Graham. I'm going to go Graham over. I'm going to go John Marshall over Virginia High. Since Floyd County got knocked off surprisingly by Chatham in the opening round of regionals as a 2 seed to a 7 seed, almost as big a surprise as that Lakeland over Hopewell shocker was in the regionals for Class 3. And by the way, kudos to Clint Wright. Nice job. The team went 4-18 to get through, and he didn't come on with us last week because of weather-related issues. He was traveling. He knew if he came on with us, you were going to jinx him into a loss. So he played his cards right, and it worked for him. Now he didn't play his cards right against Lake Taylor, but and that's just hard to do.
He contacted me on that. He said,
"Oh, did he?
Coach, I didn't get on there. I apologize." He said, "But to be truthfully honest, I didn't want Hatfield jinxing me." I
no,
said,
he didn't
Clint,
say that. Now you're telling stories.
I'm just giving you what
Clint will watch the show and text me later and say that you just told a big fat fib.
You what he said.
A big fat fib. Give us your Class 1 pick. We're running short on time.
Lancaster over George Wythe.
Lancaster over Wythe. Just to be different. And we go ahead. You're going to say, well, you're definitely that. I'm going to go Wythe over Lancaster. I think Lancaster loses in the final. I do. Let's go to girls here as we scroll down here through all the brackets. You're wondering where you can find this. It's all on VirginiaPreps.com, ladies and gents. Class 6 girls. We put a line through here. We still got to wait for a couple matchups to determine this, so it's a little bit of an asterisk.
Yeah,
I'm going to go Manchester over Dale. They just beat them, and I think they'll beat them again close. Wouldn't be surprised if it goes Dale over Manchester, which is probably what you're leaning with, aren't you?
I'm going Dale.
Over?
Manchester.
Okay. Class 5 girls, give me Princess Anne over James River. What do you got?
PA over James River, but I'm looking at Briarwood. I'm going to go James River.
You're going to go James River.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to go PA over James River. All right. Same as me. Copycat. What's new? What's new, pussycat? Whoa. Class 4, what do you got?
4, I just lost it. Let me bring it back. Okay, here we go. 5.
You don't have to just lose it. It's right here on our screen.
Okay. Give me Hampton over.
Over?
Oh, man.
Monica put up like 90 yesterday in the region final.
Yeah, I got Hampton beating them close.
Do you?
And then what I got in the other one? Charlottesville against, who are they playing?
No, they're playing Tuscarora. Woodgrove's playing Salem. He's reaching on this one. I got him. I've got him right where I want him. I got reel him in and
I got Hampton winning it.
Of course you do.
I got Hampton winning it. I mean, that's a straight, not unbiased pick. I got.
No, it's not. Sonny Bailey's one of your best friends, so I know that's where you're going with.
Hampton over.
That's not unbiased. Sonny Bailey's one of your best friends. Over Woodgrove. I'm going to go Woodgrove to win it. Sorry, Shonda. I respect the heck out of you and your program. You do a fantastic job. I'm going to go Woodgrove over Monacan.
Ooh.
And then when I'm wrong, I'm going to hear about it from Ed and Shonda.
No, I got to hear it from me because you're just going to hear from a lot of other people.
Well, the Crabbers people too. Class 3. This is tricky. Liberty Christian's unbeaten. So you never know how good an unbeaten team is. And I'm totally – but you know what? I'm going with Carroll County. They won it last year. Alyssa Irvin is crushing it. I think the final is that. And Sandra Sawyer is a living legend, just like her husband, Hank, the head football coach at Lake Taylor. What a shot they hit to win the game the other day against Grafton.
And we didn't talk about them all year.
We didn't talk about them enough the other day. When we apologized, today, no, just the other day. Wish I had that video, by the way, too, of that game-winning shot. I should have had that for us for people to see. But I'm going to go with, you know what? I think she might find her way to the state final, but I'm going to go Carroll County over Lake Taylor in the final. Meridian, I'm surprised Meridian lost to Brentsville District, who is known to get there before.
Yeah,
I'm going to go on the limb here and go Carroll County over Lake Taylor, but it might be Brentsville. I think the state finals and semis with Carroll and Liberty. Unless Carroll plays Liberty in the quarters, and I think that's the state final in the quarters.
Right. See, we got some. They're not done yet.
Not done yet.
The asterisk comes up again because I'm going Liberty Christian to
win it,
easily go through that upper bracket.
Oh, they're not easily going through Carroll County. You see what they did last year.
I'm going with it.
No,
those girls are on
that's
a
not
roll,
easy.
roll
They haven't seen Carroll County yet. They're like they're on a roll like what? Like a fat kid going downhill. What'd you say?
They're on a roll like butter.
Okay. All right.
And give me. Oh boy, I want to go so much with Sandra Sawyer. They're like
do it. Nobody's stopping you.
Brentsville District girls can shoot up the lights. Give me.
Lamar Barrett tuning into the show. He says, "We know." What do we know, Lamar? You got to tell us. You didn't explain that.
We know stuff. Give me Lake Taylor.
All right.
Liberty Christian over Lake Taylor.
All right. That's what you're going with. As we close up the show, we got an upset pick today. Maybe Lamar will give us his thoughts to that. We do our college basketball upset pick here in a second. Class 2, I'm going with Robin Dotson, Central Wise. You can't go against him. I'm going to go them over the John Marshall girls who have been whacking people the way the boys have been whacking people. Give me Wise over John Marshall.
Yeah.
Justice will not be served for that, even though the justices will serve plenty of it in boys basketball.
I'm going Wise to be Wise to pick Wise. So.
Over.
I'm not feeling Marshall in this. The boys, yes. I don't know about the girls.
You want to go with Page County or Strasburg?
I'm going to go Page County.
Okay. All right. And our finishing up here, Class 1, we have no idea who's playing on the top side of the bracket. Honaker is really good. I'm going to go Honaker over Buffalo Gap. And I might change this probably 3 times between now and next week.
I'm going to go with the George Wythe girls.
Okay.
Because I wonder if we're going to have any boys and girls both from the same school.
It's possible. It's possible. Lake Taylor's trying to do it. Wythe's trying to do it. We've got John Marshall trying to do it. We've got a few different schools trying to pull it off. Not an easy task, but it can be done.
I'm going to go with Wythe on the girls' side up top.
Okay, over.
And give me the ladies of Buffalo Gap.
All right, he goes the Bison.
By
the way, is it Bison or Bisons? It's Bison. Bison.
It says no S?
No S.
So when we
it's like cheese. You don't say cheeses.
So when
it's cheese.
We see 10 bison out there, it's just 10 bison.
Yeah.
10 bison.
Pretty sure that's how it goes.
Okay. Just like the deer. We don't see deers.
We don't say that.
We just see
deers. All right. As we put it back up here, give us your top 25 college basketball upset today as we get ready to sign off here in the hoops. Let's see who knocks it.
It's not a big one.
We mentioned Nick got the NASCAR pick right for Daytona 500. Let's see if we can hit the upset special today. You want me to give you mine or you want to go with yours
first?
Go
ahead, but I think I know yours.
It's a guarantee. Guarantee. The Baylor Bears, who lost to BYU the other day, they will knock off the Houston Cougars and Kelvin Sampson's team. Listen, Houston plays outstanding defense, and I have mad respect for what they have done this year, especially Jamal Shedd, who was superb in their win of the day against Iowa State. But the Baylor Bears have been circling this game. Kelvin Sampson talked about how great the defense was, the toughness of Iowa State, and they are tough. He's going to run into a tough one today in Waco. Give me the Bears, a slight 2.5-point pup at home to beat Houston. Take it to the bank. What's yours today? You're going to go with Wake Forest and your buddy Steve Forbes over Duke? I knew it's where he was going. I
was going to take Baylor. I don't know why I told you to go first, but if I take Baylor, it's copycat.
I knew it.
Give me Wake
By the way,
Forest.
Wake is favorite, so that's not an upset.
Yeah, and how? Yeah.
Not an upset. That's not an upset. They're favored by 2.5.
Well, then somebody's got the game on the take, because how do you put them favored just because they're at home against a team that's much better than them, at least 10 points better than them?
Wow. You're not going to go with Virginia to knock off Carolina in Charlottesville with that pack line defense, slow it down to a crawl, to a bear crawl?
No.
You're going, but that's not an upset. I I got to hold your feet to the fire here. You had cold feet last week. Lamar says no upsets in college basketball. There's got to be upsets today. I'm not buying that.
Yeah, see, Lamar. See what I'm dealing with? See, Lamar knows what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with a liar. A pathological liar is what I'm dealing with.
Not a pathological liar. So you're going to pick Wake over Duke as an upset.
Yeah,
my producers over here, are you shaking your head? You go that with Ed, or they don't agree with this. Villanova is what Nick is saying. Villanova over Connecticut. Whoa, I don't see that.
No, that's not happening.
I don't see that. Kyle Neptune's not beating
Nick
Danny Hurley.
Too close to the racetrack.
Yeah, that what happened.
Now I can't hear or see.
Not seeing that.
Not happening.
I'm going to give you one that could happen too. That this is this, and I don't believe it. And he's actually the coach of he coached one of your former players, and they've had a bad year. Don't be stunned if Arizona State gets Washington State at home. Arizona State's playing a little bit better, and Washington State's coming off that big win, emotional win of the night over Arizona. 5.5-point dog at home. Don't be surprised they keep that close. They win like on a buzzer beater. That's another one. Don't be surprised if Arizona State pulls that out. I don't think they're going to, but don't be surprised if they get that done. The bear crawl. There you go. And the Mountain West, by the way, how good is that basketball league tonight? That is just some terrific.
When it starts,
so you're going with Wake as your upset. That is such a lame cop-out way of you to take a favorite at home against Duke.
They should not be favored.
Wait, if they should be favored, then why are you picking them? If they shouldn't be
because
favored,
it should be an upset. Wake Forest is not better than Duke.
But they're favored. How you call that your upset? You're ridiculous. I can't do this with you anymore.
Maybe the people in Vegas feel it's an upset too, so all the money went to Wake Forest.
That's going to wrap up this edition to the latest edition of 757 Saturday Sports Talk. We appreciate you all tuning in. If you missed any of the show, it'll be archived for you on Cova Sports TV as well as VirginiaPreps.com, the YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, X. Want to thank our entire crew from Nick and Ethan to all of you out there chiming in, commenting. We'll do it again next week in March, probably on remote or on the road. We'll be in Richmond for the state championships in 2 weeks, but it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. How about West Virginia over Iowa State?
Not happening. That's in Ames. You're looking back at these. They're clapping over there for you. Take that. Good job, Ed. Good job. We'll take that. I like that one.
Alabama over Kentucky.
Is that an upset?
No, Kentucky.
I'm going
Kentucky over Alabama.
Isn't Bama?
I was once that little Iowa girl who was inspired to dream big, real big. And that dream was more than women's basketball. It was possibility that I turned into reality. I'm still that girl from Iowa, but now it's my turn to inspire. If I can drop 40, you can drop 50. If we can draw 56,000 fans, you can draw 57. If I can sign with Gatorade, you can too.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What's up at DQ? These two are debating which $7 meal deal, with fries, drink, and a sundae, is the best full-size meal deal of all.
Cheeseburger. Chicken strips.
There's something for everyone in the $7 meal deal at DQ. Happy tastes good.